This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smokin Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MM-Anians. The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports, Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
Oh, yeah. You know it's the theme for the NWO. Oh, you know it. Oh, yes. It's great to be back here for a special edition of WrestleTalk. My name is Ralph Williams. I'm your host, along with my co-host, Smokin Jim Frazier. Smokin Jim, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. This is a big one, bro.
Oh, you know it, man. We're here today. I'm having some problems here with my camera. There we go. All right, I had it there. There we go. All right, here I am, live and dangerously local, as one of my fellow media colleagues would say. But anyway, it's great to be here. Smokin Jim Frazier, my co-host by phone. And we're here for a very special edition today of WrestleTalk, and that is we are covering the post-WrestleMania show that happened over the weekend. We had it on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's card was pretty decent. So was Sunday's card. The only thing is, told me it was supposed to be clean, and it wasn't. It wasn't a clean pin. It was a, hey, how you doing, Pensman? It's great to have you on here. Thank you for commenting. And Cena got 17. Yes, he did. I called that. Everyone called that. But the big match that I called here, and my wife is a witness, was when Lyra Valkyrie came out for the women's tag team belts. I called both of these situations, Smokin Jim. What are your thoughts on this Becky Lynch thing?
Wow, I was shocked. I think I heard somewhere that she was retired and she wasn't coming back to wrestling. So I was shocked not only to see her, but see her in such great shape and, wrestling fit and wow. And to be able to win a belt like that and then to have to defend it right away was amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing that got me about the WWE, although I predicted everything that happened. I said, I'm sitting there, my wife says, who do you think it's going to be? And I said, it's going to be Becky Lynch is going to be her partner, because I had read a few articles, checked out a few rumors, come to find out that, Becky Lynch was returning to wrestling. I had also some information that she was not coming back. She was going to do yes, indeed. Seth dragged her back in, Pensman. You're exactly correct, because of his alignment with Paul Heyman. And now she's going to be involved with her husband, and that's going to be interesting. They'll be in the same faction, and I find this going down the road very, very interesting. And I thought the WrestleMania as a whole wasn't bad. I didn't like the idea of the Americano, El Grande Americano doing his little thing with the little steel in the mask. I thought maybe that one would be legitimate too. That ended up being cheating there. Because usually, Smokin' Jim, when you watch WrestleMania, you usually don't see any interference. You don't see any of that cheap stuff. You don't see anything like that. I was quite surprised that he did it that way. And, I was quite surprised with the WWE at that as well. But Becky Lynch, last night on Raw, I called it. I said she's going to turn heel, go with Seth. And I was right again. So, I'm right. Smokin' will pick me up on that. But I'm not wrong too many times, and I wasn't wrong there either. So just to let everyone know that as well. Comments, Pens commenting. Thank you for your comments, Pensman. I see we have quite a few people watching today, and I thank you for that. We'll be back after this show. We will be back May the 13th, which is a Tuesday. We'll be back on a normal time slot. All programming on RW Media Productions goes back to normal programming starting on December 12th, or I'm sorry, May 12th as well. All right, Smokin' Jim, your comments, your thoughts. Night number one. Let's go with night number one. What were your thoughts on night number one?
Well, take the lead. I'll follow you. I'll follow your lead.
Okay.
Bro.
All right. Let's start off with this Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix. Rey Mysterio got hurt Friday night on SmackDown before WrestleMania, and they had Rey Fenix in there to take his spot. What was your thoughts on this match? Do you think it was cheap? Do you think that they shouldn't have had Americano with the steel in his mask? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you said it best in the intro, that it shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a few of those matches that, the Logan Paul thing again with AJ Styles and number 2, where he once again his flunky or lackey, whoever that guy is that's always there all the time with him, decided to bring out the brass knuckles again, and Karrion Kross getting involved. I mean, why can't it ever be? And this is why I have no respect for Logan Paul. Why can't it ever be a clean match with him? I mean, he just basically, here's the thing that bothers me about him, Smokin' Jim. He's on the internet. He's one of the best social media people as far as drawing people to him. People watch him. People follow him. He's probably got millions and millions and millions of followers all across the country. And for what reasons, I have no idea. Okay. All I know is a lot of people follow him. All right. He's a businessman and everything else. I get that. And I'm not jealous of this man. What I'm jealous of, what I'm disappointed in him is the fact that the way he conducts himself in the wrestling ring, that if he conducted himself a little bit better, like he knew it was WrestleMania. We knew this was going to happen. We didn't want to see this kind of stunts pulled again. But we'll talk about night number 2. Let's get back to night number 1. Your thoughts on the triple threat match, which was the main event: CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. And again, I was right again. You can ask my wife; she'll tell you. I sat there. I said Seth Rollins was going to win this. Paul Heyman was going to hook up with him. There were inklings of rumors floating about, little rumor Tweety birds floating around, flying around, going, "Oh, I think Seth Rollins is going to hook up with Paul Heyman." And Heyman owed him a favor. So here we are. He has met the favor, but on top of meeting the favor, Smokin' Jim, he now has aligned himself, Paul Heyman, with Seth Rollins and now Braun Breaker. Your thoughts on this alignment?
Well, I tell you what, man, Paul Heyman can come right up through your middle pretty good.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, I thought he was, I saw him screwing CM Punk, but I didn't expect him to do it to Roman Reigns. Then when I saw him do it to Roman Reigns, I said, oh, I'm going to be right again. And here I was right again. And I love it. You know what I mean? I love it. And, yeah, I didn't expect it twice. And he's got a pretty good shot. Boom, right up the you-know-where, Yeah, exactly. I was sitting there. I tell you what, I've laughed at some of the things he's done, but I think that was a Grammy winner right there. Just both shots, it was like boom, and I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios, 724-201-0500. Last broadcast here from Studios 808 in the Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh. We will be broadcasting starting May the 13th from Studios 10, and that'll be our new studio area, Studio 10. We're in Studio 808 here, but it'll be Studio 10 coming up May the 13th. But Mata Heating and Air Conditioning are our studio sponsors. 724-201-0500. Call Mata today as well. All right. Let's get back to night one here. Let's talk about the fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Belt. We can talk about that as well. But also Jey Uso versus Gunther. What was your thoughts on that match, Smokin' Jim? And my thoughts were, I said Jey was going to win because the reason I said that was because of the Yeet movement. They could make a lot of money on Jey Uso souvenirs, shirts, hats, whatever. Okay, they're making money now. But with him being champ, they can make more money. So if you're the WWE, wouldn't you market Jey Uso with the belt so you can make all that kind of money? People are going out right now. They're selling hundreds and hundreds of shirts that can't keep up with. Okay, and everyone's trying to buy before the tariffs happen. But what I'm saying is that here we are with this. I called this one too. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts? Jey Uso, Gunther.
Well, I tell you what, man, your analogy is very, very well received because you just never know where the popularity is going to come from. I mean, you always talk about you put out excellent programming, and I don't think you've topped $1 million in 1 year. And there's folks out here that doesn't do half as good as you, making like $1 million a month. And you look at the Yeats, I mean, they're going crazy in every arena.
Yes.
I mean, he's coming through, he's walking down the arenas, the little kids, everybody got the outfits. And like you said, the merchandising is just going to sell, off the racks. You get 90-95% of wrestling right, and maybe even a higher percentage. I'm just the opposite. I didn't think he was going to be Gunther, and I definitely didn't think Gunther was going to tap out. But I tell you what, man, I thought Gunther was going to kill
Jey
the
Uso
guy from Plum.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was going to kill the guy from Plum last night.
Oh, you mean Pat McAfee? Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. Yeah.
Yeah. Pat McAfee turned all kinds of
Oh, my gosh.
Man.
Did you see his face? It was like gray. And it was like a gray ashy color. And I'm like, I've never seen, it was like somebody threw paint on him or something. I saw that last night. I was like, oh, my gosh. But you know what, though? That was wrong. We'll talk about that later after we're done dissecting WrestleMania here. All right. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. I knew Jade was going to win that match all along. It's her revenge against Naomi. What do you think of this match?
Yeah, I agree. I thought that, Jade would win.
War Raiders versus the New Day. I had a bad feeling. I didn't want the New Day to win, but I had a bad feeling they were going to, because guess why? This is their number 12. Number 12, a dozen now of winning tag team belts. They even have more than the Usos. So
what you got against New Day?
What's that?
What you got against New Day?
I don't have nothing against New Day. I mean, I get what they're up against. The War Raiders, both of them had neck surgeries real bad. They were both coming back from injury. I kind of wanted them to, keep going as champs. But again, I think WWE did this again. New Day stuff sells, and it will sell more now that they're champs. You think about that.
Wow.
How many people are still New Day fans, even if they're a heel? New Day rocks. New Day rocks. I'm going to tell you a little story. I used to work at Steak and Shake, and I had this young kid. He was probably in his 20s, and we all would talk about WWE wrestling when I would show up for work. And he'd come up to me one day clapping, "New Day rocks. New Day rocks." And we're going almost let's see, what, the 16, 9 years since I've worked at Steak and Shake. I had to retire because of my health. But what I'm saying is, when I was there, the kids would come up to me that worked there with me and just clap their hands and go, "New Day rocks." I mean, then they were into the New Day. So now it's even more. You even got even this generation getting into them now. And if you like a heel, they're even doing better as a heel. I mean, they were a heel once before when Big E was with them. But I think they're doing a really good job with it better now than they did before. Excuse me. All right. Anyway, let's get back. Your comments, thoughts about WrestleMania. Comment section wide open. Pensman Sports has joined us. Thank you, Pensman, for being part of the program on the comments section. Much appreciated today. We'll be back May the 13th. Full schedule of RW Media Production shows. And like Smokin' Jim Frazier said, I still scratch my head every day. Can't figure out how come I don't have thousands and thousands of followers and subscribers for all my shows. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel, Ralph Williams, RW Media, as well. Great programming on their archive. Get to follow me on YouTube, or on, Twitter X. I'm also on Facebook. And check out my post. Respond if you want to. And for all the other wrestling information, we have the new Ralph Report Wrestling Edition. That will be on whenever after Raw and SmackDown, starting starting May 11th. So I just want to let everyone know that Ralph's reporting will be popping up and going away and all that other stuff. All right, next, your thoughts, Smokin' Jim, on the Ray. We already talked about this, but we can talk some more if you want. Ray Phoenix, the El Grande Americano. Your thoughts on that one?
You can go ahead and expand. I've already.
I think it was a cheap match. I think that it could have been better. But here's the disappointing match. I thought LA Knight was actually going to beat Jacob Fatu. A lot of people called it Fatu won. He beat LA Knight. He's the new U.S. title champion. Where do you see Smokin' Jim Fatu going with this? You see him going far? You see him losing to LA Knight again? How far do you see him going?
If he stay healthy, he can be the #1 guy in wrestling.
Absolutely. So all right, next. Tiffy time. She beat Charlotte Flair. I was on with Peter Blake last Wednesday night in Tampa, and I was talking he has a gentleman on named Louie who covers Tampa sports. He has his own podcast, and all three of us were talking about this match specifically. And I had said to Louie that Charlotte Flair's act was getting kind of stale. I think it was time for Tiffy to keep the title, and I was right on this one. Tiffy did keep the title. She did a very good job in this match. I thought she wrestled very well, and a lot of people were still underestimating. I think right now she don't need to be. People shouldn't be underestimating her. I think she's representing the championship well, and I think she's doing a good job. What do you think?
She represents my game room well when I turn the TV on.
Yeah, I know.
Ain't nothing like Tiffy time, and I tell you what, man, that move that she does off the ropes, man, that somersault is unbelievable, man. So you got to give her credit. She put the time in, man. She put the work in, and she's a legitimate champion. I can say that.
Oh yeah, and I got to say this too. I was one of the people who underestimated her for a while. I saw a glamorous body, but average wrestler. Just kind of got lucky. But you know what?
I got that one.
You
right.
got that one exactly. So guess what? You get this. There you go. You get that. There you are. Okay, next, the triple threat match: Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Paul Heyman really put on a good show here, but I thought the match itself was actually quite good as well. I predicted that he was going to go with Seth. I had that feeling, and I said, you know what? I think he's going to go with Seth. I'm telling you, I heard some rumors, and the sad part about this, I like all three of these guys, but the sad part about it was the interest in his face after this happened, because when he was smiling when he handed him the chair, and then all of a sudden, boom, right in the grapes. I said, "Oh my gosh," you know. I said, he's going with Seth Rollins, and it's good now. Seth's the heel, and he's with Paul Heyman, and Seth's going to move up. Braun Breaker's going to get his title back. I don't see Dom Mysterio holding on to that title very long. Right now with this alliance, Paul Heyman's going to bring the best out of both of those guys. And if he and Becky Lynch, and if he brings anybody else into that faction, look out. It's going to be interesting to see. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim?
Well, did Dom beat Braun Breaker?
Yeah, Dom beat Braun Breaker. Yes, he did. Dirty Dom beat him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering how he got that belt.
Well, I'll tell you what he did. I'll tell you what he did. He came off the top rope. Finn Balor had Braun pinned, or Penta pinned. Okay. And what happened was he come off, Finn had him pinned. He come off the top rope and then pinned Penta, and then pushed Finn aside and pinned Penta for the win. There's going to be something between Finn Balor and Dom and Dirty Dom. Watch. There's going to be something going on there. And guess who's back? We saw last night JD McDonough. Actually, I like what Pat McAfee says. JD McDomo. You know. Yeah, so or JD McDummy, however he puts it. But anyhow, Dirty Dom is the new Intercontinental title holder. I don't see him holding on to it for long. All because, but there are rumors, speculating rumors that he's going to become a babyface with this feud with Finn Balor. And, we'll see what goes on. I'm telling you, Finn's going to be out of the Judgment Day. JD McDonough's back, or McDomo is back. And the girls got the titles back. And, everybody's winning titles here. And who knows? We'll see where it goes. All right, next. Night number 2 we'll get into was supposed to be Bayley and Tyra Valkyrie versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. As Becky Lynch filled in, I called that. I said it has to be Becky Lynch. I said, even though I had heard stories that she was going to permanently retire, I think Seth talked her back into coming back and then forming this heel turn with Paul Heyman. Great move. I think Becky Lynch is going to be a heel, and it's going to turn out to be really good. We saw that last night. Your thoughts on this match, them winning the title and then losing it the next night? I was actually quite surprised, but Adam Pearce is a wimp anyway. I was actually quite surprised that they got the rematch this fast on Raw to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to even have this match. I would have sunk them down the bottom of the hole and said, you got to work your way back up. But no, Adam Pearce gave him a match right away, and I was actually quite surprised. And Adam Pearce is a wimp. He don't do his job. He needs to be fired because he should have fired Gunther immediately. He did not after what happened last night. We'll talk about that as soon as we're done with WrestleMania here. Your thoughts on that tag team match here, Smokin' Jim?
Yeah, I think we briefly it was a great chemistry, I thought, because Becky Lynch and her
Lyra Valkyrie.
Yeah, they're both from the same hometown or same country, and she looked up to Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch was just she don't like to lose. The man don't like to lose, and she lost it, and I thought she was going to kill the girl, but so congratulations to Liv Morgan for getting her tag team title belt back, but I'm interested in seeing what's in store with Becky Lynch in the future.
Yeah, this match was kind of disappointing. This next one, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a street fight. Sin City street fight. I actually thought Damian Priest was going to win this, and we got some more. Drew McIntyre. It's everybody's fault but his. All right, but anyway, your thoughts on that match, Smokin' Jim? I thought Damian Priest was going to win, but McIntyre won this match. What do you think?
Yeah, there's not been a day that the sun come up that Damian Priest could beat McIntyre, and so it didn't surprise me. McIntyre's beast, man.
Yeah, they're both good wrestlers. Good, so but this rivalry, I don't think it stops. I think it continues because it's just the way everything's been going. Priest is kind of, I don't think deliberately stuck at the Drew, but you know what? Drew was a victim of what I call circumstance, more or less. But anyway, all right. Let's get back to the fatal four-way. Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Finn Balor. I already gave you the results of that match, but what was on this match?
On which one?
The fatal four-way here that we were talking about earlier. But I mean, what was your thoughts on this match? Braun Breaker.
I'd be interested to hear your comments, bro.
Well, I didn't expect Dirty Dom to win the belt. That's one thing I didn't expect. I knew he was going to screw Finn Balor somehow. I thought maybe the Judgment Day would come out and make a mistake. And then when JD McDonough got involved, that's when I said, oh, no, here we go. And Dominic Mysterio ended up winning that match. And it's interesting. Braun loses the title to Dom, but he's now with Paul Heyman. So he can win it back with Paul Heyman. I don't think Dom holds on to that. He didn't hold on to the champion, the North American Championship in NXT when he was that champ. He didn't hold on to that very long. Somebody beat him. So I don't see that happening. But anyway, all right, let's get to the next match. Of course, we spoke about this a little earlier. AJ Styles, Logan Paul. He can't fight any other way. He has to fight dirty, try to pull antics and stunts and all that stuff. I have no more comments to make on this match, but what were your thoughts on it?
Logan Paul came in shape, man. Great shape. He's a half-line act, and I tell you what, he can knock you out with one punch. So I don't know why so many people hate him, but yeah, he's good for wrestling.
I don't like him, Smokin' Jim, because he's not a wrestler, a real wrestler. And like Cody Rhodes once said, you don't put the time in like we all do here. You know what I mean? And he's right about that, I mean, he really is right. So, but anyway, all right, we got Yar 1713. We got Willow something here. We got Mr. Altios, and we got a few different people here with some comments. All right, here, what's this say here? Can we talk about the Nerf and yeah, whatever. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, whatever. You know what? I don't care what people say here. Now we got the people who don't have a life. They got to come on this program with their comments. That's fine, So here we go. John Cena's overrated. There we go. That's a good one right there. I will definitely put that up. John Cena is overrated. Absolutely. All right, I will put that up. And then also here, feels good, man. Yep, there it is, Ben. Thank you, Ben. And there we are with that. And so let me see what else we got here. DX, you got it. All right. We got a bunch of guys here coming in here. Thank you for your comments as well, Willow, whatever that means. We're all set here. We got some comments in the comments section. I just read them off. So, all right, let's get to our next match here. Smokin' Jim, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. Io Sky won this match. I didn't expect that to happen. I thought it was going to be Belair or Rhea Ripley. Again, I underestimated Io Sky, and she ended up turning up winning this match. And I'm actually kind of glad she won this match because I think everybody else, including myself, underestimated Io Sky. What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I was surprised, underestimated her too, and I didn't expect her to win, but yeah, I gotta agree with you, bro.
All right, the Boogeyman is checking in. He said Jeff Hardy is one of the greatest. The Hardys were supposed to make an appearance at WrestleMania. That did not happen. I'm very disappointed in that situation. What's this about the Big Show here? Let me see. Big Show in his prime is the greatest wrestler we ever seen and will see. Yes, indeed. That's Blaze DBD. Thank you for Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here today with some of your positive comments. And Jeff Hardy, one of the greatest. And then it says, Miji says he's in danger. All right. Well, I can't help you right now with that. But anyway, do you have life? Yes, I have life. There you go. Mr. Tony Atlas says, do we have life? Yes, we do. So, all right. Next, let's go into the final match of the night and the final match of WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Did you expect this match to go where John and Travis Scott were going to come out and they were going to start all kinds of grief and problems? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I thought somebody. Yeah, I thought they would come out and start some problems and stuff like that. What you think?
Yeah, didn't expect it. I thought it was going to be a clean match, and Cena was going to win. I thought The Rock was going to be involved somehow, and he was going to get like belted in the head, somebody or something. Or I thought Roman Reigns or somebody was going to come on and do something, but that didn't happen that way. And so here we are. Smoke, I got to tell you, Smokin' Jim, this is one of our most watched shows ever. You ready?
Yeah.
We have 149 people watching right now. 149 tuning in.
That's impressive, brother.
Yes, it is. Very impressive. And let's keep it that way. 150 all watching, commenting, and whatnot. That's great. It's great to hear. And I want to thank everybody for that because this is one of the most watched shows that we've ever done. So it's great. 149 people. Everybody that's here today, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Help me get more subscribers and follow me on my Twitter X as well. Follow me there. We're live on Facebook, YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're also on Twitter X, and we're also live on the Huddle Sports Network. And real soon, we're going to be on the Oracle Radio Network, and we're going to be uploading some shows onto the Sports Vival website. That's coming up as well. All right. All right, Smokin' Jim, as a whole, what grade do you give WrestleMania?
A+.
Yeah, I give it an A- because of the Cena match and a few of the other matches, so. All right, I expect Bianca to go heel turn. Says visitor 003. Yes, indeed. I expect the same thing. She's getting a little disgusted being a baby face. Becky Lynch going heel. It's going to be great. I'm interested to see if Bayley actually goes heel and tries to go, and stake her claim. She was better. She was better. She was a good heel when she was a heel. Wait, who is the guy? Did Ivan raid? I don't. Oh, yeah. All right, Smokin' Jim. Let's talk about what happened with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. I think it was very low of Gunther to do what he did. These guys are announcers that express their opinion. I feel that what happened here was wrong. I not only feel that it was wrong, I thought it was very unprofessional of Gunther to do this. My eyes on this is just like it was with Kevin Owens, he should be fired. Should have been fired after the match last night. Adam Pearce is a weak general manager who does nothing with his show. I've heard Michael Cole make comments when he was on SmackDown. At least I'm on a real show with real supervision. Okay. And Nick Aldis, too, he's losing his show because I remember when he first took over, he said he was going to crack the whip. I don't see any whip cracking. Okay. So what's your thoughts on this incident that happened last night? Do you think Gunther was wrong, or do you think that Gunther was okay with what he did, or do you think he should be fired, or is this leading up to Gunther versus Pat McAfee at SummerSlam? What do you think?
Well, a couple things. I'm totally opposite from you. Gunther can't do no wrong in my eyes. Granted, they were talking about him, so he should not have come over. That was unprofessional. But one, McAfee's a wrestler. He's wrestled. He's been in the ring before. He's wrestled. And two, what's the other gentleman's name?
Oh, Michael Cole. You mean
Michael Cole had no business standing up. He should have been seated in his chair and called for security he stood up, then walked outside
The
the
announcer's
desk.
table. Yes. I get
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
so I mean, he's lucky that Pat McAfee took up for him because he was getting ready to get beat up real bad.
Yes, he
But
was. Yes.
again, like you said, the wrestlers can't be beating up the announcers. I think though the stage is set now for Pat McAfee and Gunther to maybe get it on
Yeah.
at some point.
I
But
see it at SummerSlam.
yeah,
Either that or Backlash. Because Backlash, they're already putting some stuff together for Backlash already, which we'll see where it goes. I'm not going to say anything here yet. Backlash is May 10th, but we'll see what goes on. Keep your eyes on my social media pages. I'm hearing there could be some interesting matches going on. That could happen. I'm looking at Finn Balor versus Dirty Dom for the title at Backlash. I'm looking at Jey Uso. Jey Uso better be careful. You know what? I like Jey. I really do. I'm glad he won the title. As I said, I think they're going to keep it on him. But now you got Seth Rollins now as a heel, and you got a bunch of guys chasing you down. You got a target on your back. Jey Uso better be careful. That's all I can say. I would be careful with Sami Zayn. He may be interested in the title. You see what I'm getting at? I mean, I
yeah,
know that they're friends, but you know what? What's the old saying, Smokin' Jim? Friendship is friendship, but business is business. And if Sami Zayn can become champ, he just might do that. You know what I mean? You know?
yes,
So, but if I'm Jey Uso, I'd be very, very careful about what happens. And Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez getting the titles back. I saw that coming. I said, watch, Becky, they're going to lose this match. Becky Lynch is going to be a heel. And so it happened. And I was right on that one. And, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens with this whole women's division scenario here with the WWE now that Becky is a heel. So, I mean, and whatnot. What are your thoughts on this whole situation that happened last night?
with what?
With this, with Becky Lynch turning heel and everything?
Yeah, it surprised me. It didn't surprise me, her turning heel, but it surprised me that she did it to somebody that was a fan of hers that
Yeah,
looked up to her from her own country.
right.
But again, I know she don't like to lose, man, and
Yeah.
and so they don't call her the man for nothing, brother.
No, there was a lot of talking last night, which I expected to happen. Not a lot of wrestling because of WrestleMania. It was interesting. Dom put his belt up against Penta. And, of course, you see where that went last night, that match. And, so I expected, that to be a debacle. And, so I just thought last night's Raw was okay for after WrestleMania. I was interested to see a lot of stuff that when I saw Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, I didn't expect Braun Breaker to be part of that group there. When he came out and just they just pulverized both CM Punk and Roman Reigns between the two of them, between the stomps and the spears and everything else. It's so great at the end there to see that happen. Paul Heyman comes up with some great ideas and some great storylines, and this is going to be a great one right here, I think.
Wow. Yeah,
So
it's definitely something, man. But Braun Breaker, ooh, when this guy when he gets his momentum going, man, he can go through anybody, man. This guy's the fastest between the ropes, and he's the fastest outside the ropes. I thought he's gonna put Roman in the nickel seats, man. Gee.
oh yeah, well who showed up last night, don't you? Rusev Day is back. Rusev. So
Who?
Rusev's back. Formerly Miro from AEW. Rusev. Yeah,
Okay.
remember Rusev Day back in the day when he was wrestling? Yeah. Rusev's back. He showed up last night. New Day was in the ring. what's her face come out? Maxine Dupree talking about Otis and Tazara coming out to fight the New Day, and then all of a sudden here he comes and he starts beating up on Otis, Tazara, and yeah. So Rusev's back. I hear Malachi Black, formerly known as Alistair, when he was in the WWE, I hear he's back or will be back. His contract has been officially signed. I hear the Hardys are going to make one last push in the WWE and win the title before they go into the Hall of Fame. So, yeah. So, that could happen.
Let me ask you this. How long do you think that John Cena will hold the belt?
Here's what I think. You want my thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I think Cody Rhodes is going to win Money in the Bank, to cash the case in at SummerSlam on John Cena and win the belt back. That's my thoughts on that. Okay, they have to put the belt back on Cody Rhodes because right now John Cena just did this so he could get his number 17 and beat Ric Flair. That's all he was worried about. It's his retirement year. He's not coming back anymore to wrestle. He's too busy in Hollywood and all that other whatever else he does. Some commercials for Hefty and whatever else he does. And what he does some Ninja Turtles, and he's doing a cricket or whatever. He's doing all kinds of commercials and stuff now. He doesn't have the time to even be doing wrestling. He's just doing this as his retirement. He has 28 more events to show up for. Once I think he'll lose the belt at either SummerSlam or the Survivor Series. I see Cody getting the Money in the Bank briefcase. We'll see what happens as we go along with that, but that's where I see this going. My question is, who's going to go after Cena's belt now? Is somebody in the bloodline going to go after it, or are they going to stay behind because Cena's hooked up with The Rock? Or what's going to happen? That's going to be my question is, who's going to fight Cena other than Cody Rhodes? Do you see what I'm getting at? Who's going to want to fight him? That's my question.
Well, he might want to get the guy that put him out last night.
Yeah.
Put him to sleep last night.
Yeah.
Who was at the Orton?
Orton, yeah. Randy Orton, yeah. Randy Orton. Oh, I forgot. What was your thoughts about Randy Orton and Joe Hendry? What was your thoughts about that match? So,
what was your thoughts on it?
No, I didn't expect it to be Joe Hendry. But when he got out there, I said to my wife, I says, you know something? I says, Joe, around too long, man. You got to wake up pretty early in the morning to beat Randy Orton. So, and I was right. So, but I see Randy Orton versus John Cena at Backlash. That's the story I'm hearing right now. That's one of the matches that I'm hearing for Backlash. And I see Dirty Dom versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title too. And then I see Bianca Belair maybe, or a triple threat match. I think her and Jay Cargill might not be, talking. I look at I don't think that's going to end anytime soon. And maybe Gunther versus Pat McAfee, either at Backlash or at SummerSlam. I see that happening. SummerSlam's going to be two nights this year, everybody. I wanted to tell everyone that. SummerSlam will be 2 nights this year. They're doing the same thing with that they're doing with WrestleMania. So, that's an interesting scenario right there as well. So, All right, let's see what else we got here. We got a few more new comments here. Wait, who is the guy that oh, yeah, okay, there we go. All right. Do you think the Fraxium is coming in the main roster after losing the titles? That could happen. Yeah, they could be coming up from NXT, the Fraxium. I see that happening. The Hardys are going to lose their belts in TNA, and then they're going to come over to the WWE. You got Joe Hendry now coming, who fought at WrestleMania. You could see Nick Nemeth, who is formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. Now that we got this working relationship between TNA and the WWE, I see that happening as well. But we'll talk a little bit of AEW real quick, Smokin' Jim. We still have a little bit of time yet. What's your thoughts on MJF trying to join the Hurt Syndicate? Do you think they're going to take him, or do you think they're going to mess him up?
Well, I know MVP wants him.
Yeah, I know. I know. Lashley don't trust him, and Sheldon Benjamin wants his Rolex watch. So there you go. You know. So, but anyway, I would like that would be interesting to see if he's there. AEW right now, Smokin' Jim, they got to do something because what they're doing is nothing. They're having all these tournaments, these ridiculous tournaments that they have with these different brackets, and they're trying to do like the NCAA and all that other horse and cadoodle there. They have the same matches, the same rivalries. You got the Young Bucks back who are stale. They need to go somewhere. They need to go someplace else. You got Kenny Omega back. He's the international champion. They're trying to do different things. Jericho's contract's running out. That's why he lost the ROH championship. And you could see the end of the learning tree coming real soon. Jericho's coming back to the WWE to finish out his career. That's going to happen. So I just don't see AEW doing or making anything, and they haven't made money since they've been in existence. They've made zero money. They've had losses ever since they started, and now Tony Khan's father is getting involved in this because he's upset. The family's upset because he's blowing all this money on this wrestling company that's not making anything. At least the Jacksonville Jaguars make a little bit of money for him. You know what I mean? So, and they he has to watch. They have to watch their money. They had to fork out the majority of the money for their new stadium. So, I mean, here we are. So, just to put it to you that way, Smokin' Jim, that's my thoughts on AEW. What do you think about AEW?
I gotta agree with you, bro.
Yeah. Well, one other thing too about AEW that I've noticed, WWE has more storylines. AEW has more wrestling, but they don't have no storylines. It's wanting to wrestle, but you got to have some kind of storylines, and they have none. They just throw wrestlers in there, matches this, matches that. You got somebody getting a title here, and now again, like I said, you got the Young Bucks back, and it's just it's crazy.
Well, Ricochet took the Ed Kincaid off of Swerve's guy, so that's a little storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, that is. Yeah. So,
did he ever give that back?
I don't know. I didn't catch AEW this week. I have Wednesday night's Chicago night, and usually I'm watching that, and then I'm on with Peter Blake. So I kind of catch a little bit of AEW. I watched some of the videos afterwards on YouTube, and the only one I was able to catch was, and AEW too, Smokin' Jim. They got a lot of wrestlers they don't know what to do with. They have too many wrestlers that. I heard a story from WWE that Vince McMahon once said, if you're not working, you're not here. So, when you got wrestlers, at least WWE, when they don't need anybody or don't want anybody or can't fit anybody into a storyline, they get rid of you. AEW seems to have too much what they call dead weight. They have too many wrestlers that are just not wrestling, and they have no meaning to be there. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, one other thing I wanted to add today was MLW's heavyweight champ. Guess who it is, Smokin' Jim?
Who?
Matt Riddle.
Really?
Matt Riddle's MLW heavyweight champion.
Hey, congratulations, Riddle.
Yeah, Matt Riddle. So, and he's been on TNA too. TNA seems to be taking anybody they can take to make their product better, which of course there's not wrong with that. If you work for any other company other than the WWE, you're allowed to go to any other company and wrestle and do your thing. WWE, you have to stay there. Even if you're the janitor, you can't work anywhere else. You have to work for the WWE. They have that in a contract clause in everybody's contract. So, AEW, you can go to work at TNA, you can go work at MLW, you can go work the independents, you can do whatever you want. Now, Elias is down at is with TNA now.
He's in shape too. He's in shape, that boy.
Yeah, he's going by Elijah.
Is he really from Plum?
Yeah, he's from Plum. Yeah. Yeah, he
Wow.
is. He really is. Yeah, he's from Plum. He went to school with Pat McAfee. They went to school together. Or they lived in the same neighborhood together for many years.
Wow. Ain't
Yeah,
that something?
yeah, yeah. So I got something for you. Remember his
What?
remember Elias's brother? What was his name? Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Guess who played Ezekiel?
Boom.
Take a guess. You're not going to believe this in a million years, but he was Ezekiel. L.A. Knight.
Are you serious?
Joking. They had the many different sides of L.A. Knight. How he started off as Eli Drake. He's done this and that in wrestling and all his characters. And when I saw Ezekiel there, I looked and I said, that does kind of look like L.A. bit. Yeah, he was Ezekiel.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but yeah, he was Ezekiel. They were showing the many sides. I watched the video, the many sides of L.A. Knight, how many different characters he's had over the years. Maxine Dupree, and then he had the Eli Drake character when he was in TNA, and then that kind of thing. And I forget what he was just called Knight, I think, or something down in NXT or LA Knight there too. I don't know, but he's had many different characters, and he was Ezekiel. So there you are.
He can show more sides now because he don't have no belt.
Yeah, we'll see where he goes. I'm not sure what he's going to do.
He can really roll over now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think he's going to be, I think he's El Grande Americano. That's who I think he is. I was going to come on tonight. I was going to wear a mask, and I was going to tell you that I'm not available because I'm sick, and I got a notice here that I'm sick, and I was going to come on as El Ralfo Americano. I was going to do that tonight just for fun.
Do you have a mask?
I have a mask. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have a mask. In fact, I'm going to do it probably Wednesday night on Blake's show. So
wow.
Turnbuckle Talk. I was going to do it. I did it last week a little bit, with some little hints. I said, this is El Ralfo Americano. I'm filling in for Ralph tonight. I just didn't have my face up. So, but yeah, it's coming. El Ralfo Americano. That's not me. Nah, I'm Ralph Williams. That's not me at all. Just like Chad Gable. Hey, you know what? He gets away with it. So, and I blame Adam Pearce for that. He needs to do something about that too. He's a fraud. I'm a whip cracker, man. I believe in cracking the whip, and I think Adam Pearce don't do his job very well as a GM. Before you hear, because we're going to wrap up, we got about less than 5 minutes in the show. Do you think that Nick Aldis is coming back to wrestling, or you think he'll stay as a GM? He's only 38 years old, and I'm hearing he wants to go back and wrestle. And I'm hearing that his wife, Mickie James, wants to come back to the WWE and wrestle with him. I'm hearing that too.
What you think?
Could happen. Mickie James is at the tail end of her career. She's she'll be a Hall of Famer. I think Nick Aldis will too. He's won a lot of belts over the years. He just hasn't won any in WWE. I think he wants to add to his legacy. See what happens there. I see perhaps if Randy Orton maybe does another RKO on him, I see Nick Aldis maybe coming out of retirement. But we'll see.
Wow.
He banged his body up a little bit when he was with ROH. I had the purpose of meeting him when I was doing security.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I met Nick Aldis when he was with ROH. When he was the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and NWA and ROH had a working relationship. He would show up at ROH events. Yeah. Yeah, I had to put because I told him, I says, I liked you when you were Magnus in TNA. When he was Magnus, I liked him. So, but then he uses his real name, Nick Aldis, now, and he was NWA World Champion for a little while, and he's done some other things, and now he's the GM of SmackDown. But I don't think it's going to last long. He's only 38. I mean, Cody Rhodes is 39. and there's a few other guys that are, you know, a little older or younger than him. So, you know, he's really a young man for wrestling standards. I mean, you know, look at Jericho. He's in his early 50s still at it. But I mean, he wants to retire in the WWE so he can get in the Hall of Fame, I think. So, but I hear that's happening. His contract with AEW is about to run out. And as you see, the learning tree is starting to fall apart. You see that, don't you? You know. So. But we'll see what happens with Big Bill and Brian Keith as we go along with AEW. Smokin' Jim, any final thoughts before we wrap this up so you can get to with Al tonight at 7 o'clock? Don't forget to tune in Smokin' Jim on Bethel Park TV. They're also live. Grody, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, and oh, excuse, oh wow, oh Nick Callis, oh man, excuse me, man, I don't know why that seems to happen every time I'm trying to mention that man's name, but you know, but anyway, so 7 o'clock tonight, Bethel Park TV. If you live in the Bethel Park section of Pittsburgh, you can watch it online. YouTube, Facebook channel, Pittsburgh Sports Line. Tune in, Smokin' Jim's or what is it? What's on your mind, Smokin' Jim, and Smokin' Jim's history or wisdom or whatever that's called there that he does, you know. So, Smokin' Jim's Almanac. There we go. And I've been on the Almanac too. And I really appreciate when you said, when we started at Beaver County Radio, and you said, if there's anybody that knows how to talk on a microphone that's made for radio, it's me. And
yes,
I could see Al and Nick getting all jealous and, you know, all that stuff. So, but it's all right. That's all right. I take Nick Callis's comments. At least I'm on the mic. I go no further. At least I'm on the mic. I go no further. He's still lackey over there at 93.7 The Fan. So, you know. This is Nick Callis for the Bethel Park Minute. I crack up when that comes on. I always go, this is Nick Callis for the Bethel Park Minute. Oh, my gosh. I got to have either a deep voice or I got to have one of those, what do they call them? I don't know, wimpy voices or whatever to be on 93.7 The Fan. You know? Oh, this is Donnie Football. You know, well, Jack Hillgrove's on there because his grandfather is Bill Hillgrove, of course. You know, so. You know, yeah. Alexander. He's on, I think, on Saturday or Sunday. Every once in a while, he's on.
Paul's pretty good.
Always good.
Man. I enjoy him too.
Yeah. He got the shaft with the first time when he was on 93.7 The Fan. I don't think you know what happened with that. I do. So he was on the morning show with Greg Giannotti. I'm Greg Giannotti. He was on with Greg Giannotti, and apparently they weren't getting along. And Giannotti walked into the program director's office and said, it's either me or Paul Alexander. Now, if I'm the program director and you're going to come into my office and do that, I'm going to say, you know what, Greg, you can turn right around and go right out the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out, because you're not going to tell us how to run this station. Wow. So apparently they thought the ratings would be better if they kept Greg and they fired Paul.
Wow. Yeah, because I used to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And now Greg Giannotti is on with, for what reasons, I have no idea. He has no personality. He's on with Boomer Esiason on CBS Radio. So,
is he?
Yeah, he's on a morning show on cable. It's on CBS Sports Network. If you want to check it out, he's on in the morning as a. He don't have an attitude. He has no personality, none whatsoever. Ever since he got married and had a child, he has no personality anymore. I used to always make fun of him. This is Greg Giannotti for BL Sour Cream and Dips. It wouldn't become a sponsor for us, but you know, BL Sour Cream and Dips. This is Greg Giannotti here. You know, yeah. I got to talk like that to get a job there. So, you know, but anyway, Smokin' Jim, any final thoughts before we wrap it up here so we can wrap this up here? So,
No, I mean they did a great job in Vegas, man. They laid out the red carpet for WrestleMania, man. Great job. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Just a few little tinker things that maybe could have been better, but you know what? It was not bad at all. And they really went to town in Vegas. I mean, they had shows, they had Comic-Con meet and greets, and I mean, they really, when they're in town, they really put on a show. I mean, and they're coming in sometime in June for Raw. I know in Pittsburgh here, so But anyway, all right. For Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. Smokin' Jim, you have yourself a great night. We will be back as all Ralph RW Media production shows will restart on May the 12th with The Way We See It from our new studio. And Studio 10 will be our new studio setup, and that will be our new studio. Motto is still with us. Will be with us for at least another year. And if you want to be like Mata, 412-545-4317, Ralph Williams 737 at gmail.com. Great affordable rates. We have also, I want to talk to you right before we wrap it up about Mike Dotson, the realtor down in Ocean City, Maryland. Call Mike today, 410-596-1681. Call him today if you're interested in getting a summer property. Listen, you should call him and get a summer property. Buy a property down there. Right now, they're going like hotcakes, number one. Number two, they're going like hotcakes, the property down there right now. Number two, the reason I say this, get yourself a summer property. The hotels rates are so sky high down there. They're $400 to $600 or more a night. So in order to stop that, if you want to go and spend a summer down in Ocean City, even working down there for summer, my suggestion to you is buy yourself a house. Call Mike today, Mike Dotson. Call him today. Tell him Ralph Williams sent you. 410-596-1681. Thank you, Smokin' Jim. Have yourself a great night. Thank you. We'll be talking, and we'll be talking on Saturday for the Sports Corner radio show. Have yourself a great night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Smoke, my co-host. And until May the 13th, we'll still be on with the Ralph Report Wrestling editions after Raw and SmackDown. That starts, that will start on May the, that will start on the first, actually, that will start every Raw and SmackDown. That was the Ralph Report Wrestling edition. That will start on May 12th as well. So I'll be back with that, but I'll still have my Ralph Reports in the sports edition. I'll be talking about the draft. That's coming up this week. You can come over to the Rivers Casino and see myself, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, Luther Dupree. Thank you, Joe Kuglis. I am also a sponsor of this Draft Nations event over the RW Media Productions is a sponsor for this year's Draft Nation show. Over at the Rivers Casino Thursday night. Draft starts at 8 o'clock. Get there early. Get your tickets, draftnation.com. Please stop by and see us. We're going to be over at the casino. Get your tickets. There's some great food. Also some, great analysts that will be talking about the draft. And myself, Claudio Rosano, Smokin' Jim Frazier, and Luther Dupree will be there. You can talk to the four of us as we're going to be there to watch the draft. And not only just to watch it, but also to get our tidbits, because the following week on our show, the following Saturday, we will be on with our draft special. I'm working on getting a guest on. So we're going to have that taken care of as well. Have yourself a great one. Thank you. And